Hey gang, Ryan here from Mana Bluff. Here we are with another Theros 8-4 draft. Opened up a very averagey pack, but still a couple of fun things. I'm going to go with Airy Worshippers here. I think it's the best card. Yeah, pretty sure. Siren and the Silent Song is really quite tasty. Fitting in Infatuation is also pretty good. But I think just Airy Worshippers helps stay open, and that's a strategy I really like, especially in Born of the Gods, in the wonky draft format. I like Servant of Timrat, wouldn't mind at that table, then I did end up going blue-black. And Arisko Sunguide is a fine 2-drop. No really strong green, though Wayfinder is playable, and definitely no good red cards. Yeah, so the best cards are still blue. These four are fine. Springleaf Drum works if you're going into like the Chromantic type deck, but I think Airy Worshipper is just the most solid, most open. Is arguably splashable, but it's just really easy on the mana and a solid 4-drop. Oh, cool. And then we're past an interesting pick here. Raised by Wolves being the most powerful pick. Someone took an uncommon besides Raised by Wolves. I wonder what that would be. Maybe like a removal spell. Or like an Ornitharch or something. Which is fine. I'm not looking to play white anyway. Retraction Helix is really good. It goes with our first pick, which is why I'm considering it over Raised by Wolves. I do like being quite blue. We're seeing almost, a very similar print run from what I had just passed over. It had the other dorky red enchantment tap bad card. I don't even know what they're called, that cycle, instead of the Retraction Helix, but the rest of the commons are the same. Yeah, I'm really torn. I do like Retraction Helix, and if I go into blue-white, that'll be very good in a tempo deck, but Raised by Wolves is really quite powerful. I just like kind of forcing a color in Born of the Gods, especially if it's a color that I like, such as blue, and trying to go that route, because the packs are so weak, and the drafts tend to be so different from Born of the Gods into the Theros packs, that I think it's kind of fine just kind of carving yourself a niche and then going big from there. So I'm going to take another Retraction Helix, especially because it really isn't anything strong. I am seeing, and again, look at these commons. I know it's a smaller set, but still we're seeing a lot of the same stuff. The third Servant of Timrat going around means probably one will table out of this first 3 packs, if not a couple, which I'd be fine with. Admittedly, Retraction Helixes aren't as great in that Control build, so I am looking to go a little bit more on the white path. Not seeing a whole lot of it. We saw a couple of the 2-drops pass, so, it's definitely a thing. Red's gone, but maybe even end up going into blue-green, and those actually are still okay with the Retraction Helixes. So I'll grab it and move forward from there. Ooh. Really late Airy Worshippers and 2 Chorus of the Tides and a Divination. Really stoked to see it. I'm going to grab one even though I already have one. I could want to diversify and grab a Chorus, but I think Airy Worshipper is just too good. And I have 2 Retraction Helixes. There's just going to be a lot I can do. I can start building my deck around this Airy Worshipper. I wonder if it was the same uncommon print. Because I had Airy Worshipper, Springleaf Drum, and then one other card, right? I forget what it was. Oh yeah, the Siren, the double-colored Siren. I'd be really happy if one of these Chorus of the Tides tabled, though that might be pushing my luck a little bit, because this is not a deep pack by any means. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's no way that's happening. But whatever, very happy with an Airy Worshippers. Okay, I think this is a good sign to start moving to Swordwise Center. The person to the right of me passed Raised by Wolves, which means at least someone to the, directly to the right of me isn't in green, I'm assuming. I can't think of another uncommon in green you would pick over it, though I could easily be forgetting something. The other alternative is just to stay blue and get the Deepwater Hypnotist at the 2-drop slot, but I'm kind of looking to go green-blue anyway. That would be kind of fun for me. And the Swordwise Center is way more powerful than Deepwater Hypnotist. It's not really close, so I'm down to start moving away from this color and be confident that I'll get the blue that I need, now that I'm pretty sure it's going to be open, coming from the right. Boink. Ooh. Wow, Saturn Nixmith is really very good, but we've seen so little red, and we're not going to get a whole lot of red. in the next couple just because Theros sucks. And also, I'd rather just, like I said, be blue-green anyway. I'm happy to take the Nyxborn Wolf, which is only a step below Saturn Nyxsmith, which is quite good. Yeah, those are the only two cards worth mentioning in the pack, really. Nullify is not a card that I love to play. I try to avoid counterspells in general, because I don't think they're great and limited, but also I just don't play them very well. I've said that before during drafts. Ooh, Vortex Elemental is good. Not too sure how much of a beatdown or control deck we're going to do, but I think this is really fun as a removal spell. Otherwise, I could, here's a Cragma Butcher, so we are seeing some more red a little bit. Maybe someone jumped out of it, or just the first few packs were weak on red, not too sure. White are the average white cards. Mortal's Resolve is perfectly fine since we're looking to go green, but not something I need. And Pillar of War is definitely not something I'm looking for. Happy to take a Vortex Elemental. I'm not committed to green at all. Wow, what a late fanatic of Xenagos. Fortunately, we're not in those colors, and it's not... I mean, it's a great card, but it's not great for splashing. So I'm more interested in like taking up this Crypsis or a Satyr Wayfinder. I already have 2 Retraction Helixes, so I'm not really hurting for like combat-y type tricks. And definitely if I'm going to be in green-blue, I'm going to have even more of them. So I'm considering just cutting the Fanatic because of how powerful it is. And I'm not looking to splash ever in a format unless I have to, and unless I started out like in a 5-color monstrosity, so I'm not taking the Wayfinder here. So that could be wrong, but I think it's just such a strong card, I'm happy to get rid of it. Here is an interesting decision. Stratus Walk being actually pretty good in green-blue because it gets the flying online. So I think I'm going to grab it here. The thing is, it's not at its best because it's really at its best in the blue-white deck, of course, with the heroic enablers. But I could see myself ditching green if white is going to be super open in the second pack. And maybe going like base blue with a whole bunch of... base blue with just a whole bunch of blue, and then like a Phalanx Leader or Wing Stealer that I pick up in the second pack. Not saying I'm hoping to do that, but I could see that happening. I don't think I'm ever playing 2 Satyr Wayfinders. If I do end up going white, I'll take the Mortal's Ardor, but I'm more just cutting it just to cut it. So testing Starbreaker's fine out of the side, and then nothing else matters. So, as predicted, the Chorus of Tides didn't table from that 4th or 5th pack, but it would have been nice just to have been super luck-sacked into it. Would have enjoyed. Okay, and here we open up exactly the kind of thing that I was considering when I took Stratus Walk over the first Satyr Wayfinder, which I'm actually super stoked at because I ended up having more than I needed. There's 0 good green here. There's a Shredding Winds for the sideboard. I don't care about Prescient Chimera, so I'm actually going to take the super powerful Phalanx Leader, and I'd rather move into this than into like black. So yeah, and we actually already have a deck that's kind of well set up for it with 2 Retraction Helixes, a Stratus Walk, and the Mortal's Ardor that we have here. So I'm cool with it. I'm still not really wanting to necessarily force the white thing into the white-blue, but because of the way this pack opened, I'm fine with this. And here's a Wingsteed Rider. We saw another Aqueous Form on my table. So yeah, I think I'm going to start moving white. We're not going to get any of it from pack 3, so that's important to note. But having these 2 super strong cards is grand. If I had opened good blue cards, I would have just been taking that, staying open, and probably staying into the green route, because I'm sure that's what's going to be more open later. But having these 2 up the power level of the deck is really strong with what a blue white deck wants to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm seeing this Nemesis of Mortals, and it is a perfectly fine green card, and I would not be completely dismayed if most people would just be ignoring these 2 white cards and trying to just stay onto the green because that was what was open in the 3rd pack. I don't think that's wrong. In fact, it might even be the better strategy, to be honest. But here we have exactly what I was hoping for, was in getting a lot of white in pack 2. So, interesting pick between Emissary and Dauntless Onslaught. They're super close. It's more kind of like what the deck needs. And even though Dauntless Onslaught is such a blowout, I do think with having 2 Retraction Helixes and Stress Lock, we already have a couple of ways for targeting. Even though this is a blowout combat trick, I care more about having really strong creatures in our base. And I think Heliod's Emissary is going to be that. Green is a flowing. Surprised blue isn't flowing. So that's something to be aware of. I don't think we're going to abandon the area worshippers or their attraction helixes for the kind of weak green we have if I keep seeing green the next few packs, but it is something to pay attention to. Man, this is a tough pick, but I'm going with the emissary here. Wow. So nothing in our colors now. Not surprising with white since I jumped into it late. I'm sure there's some white drafter 4 picks down, but it looks like there really wasn't any to the left of us initially, which makes sense because I saw none. I could take the time to feed if the draft goes horribly awry and I need to splash something, or if I do need to abandon blue. I'm so surprised that I'm not seeing blue in this pack. Maybe someone opened like a pretty sweet bomb or something, or maybe they picked up that the black blue siren and then saw the chorus of tides and kept going there as their secondary color. Not too sure. I could just take the shrine. Is that even worth anything? Well, I was looking up if the shrine was worth anything, but I didn't get there in time. So I just highlighted the time to feed, mostly to cut it out of the pack. There's really no pick there. Here we got some good picks. Again, back to having some good white. I'm going to take the God's Willing. I am short on creatures, but this is just such a good combat trick. I'll never be sad having too many of these. Would like to observe an Alciad as well. More green. No blue. I'm really surprised. Man. So I think the lack of blue is where this draft might just end up getting me. I should get some in the third pack, but if magically that guy dried up as well, ooh, that's going to be scary. I don't know how I'm going to be able to bounce back from that. Here I'm going to take this Testing Griffin, not because I really want it. Return Phalanx and Nylea's Presence are some of the best cards, but if I end up being short on playables, I'm going to need Testing Griffin. Because right now the Vortex Elemental really isn't the kind of card we want in this deck, though I'm still happy to play it. I still don't think I'm moving into green, and possibly it would be appropriate to take the Nylea's Presence and then go green, white, and have a really weak deck and splashing a little bit of blue. But I'm going to try to stick to the guns here. Ooh, late Observant Alciad. So that's cool. This deck might work out if a lot of people were avoiding white in general in the draft. Since we're getting to this kind of like later picks and we're still seeing good cards, it's certainly not overdrafted at the table, but it was also certainly drafted to the right of me. So if there's one white drafter to my right, I'm okay. If there's a couple who didn't move out of it from me picking up white here, then I'm going to be in some trouble. I think I'll take the Snarecaster instead of the Battlewise Valor. I need more 2-drops, and I actually have a pretty decent set of heroic triggers with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the low end, plus possible bestow guys. So 5 is good. I certainly want a Battlewise Valor, but being so low on creatures, like I said, I just need to prioritize some 2-drops here. I'll cut the Ill-Tempered Cyclops. Could cut the Shredding Winds. Could just take the Silent Artisan again because I'm scared to play. Yeah, I guess I'll take that. Just being so worried about, I mean, wow, 0 blue, period. Not even from the later pack, so I don't know if there's like 3 people blue to the left of me or what. But, ouch. How many humans do I have? I have 1. Well, Winged Rider doesn't count. I'll take the Pegasus in case I get more humans. Again, just trying to shore up playables. But right now, that is not exactly something my deck is in love with, especially 2. Wow, green's so open. Gosh. Alright. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted that there was 0 blue in this pack. Certainly in hindsight, it might have been better to have gone green, since I already had, a couple of decent green cards, which I'm going to review right now in the event I feel like I really need to abandon blue. Because, I mean, I do have a Wayfinder, which is possible to splash the area worshippers. Time to Feed, Nyxborn Wolf, Centaur, and such are really quite good. So it is an option, but if I abandon blue, I lose quite a bit of power, especially in the heroic forms. Seagull's Revenge is quite nice, but I'm definitely taking the Winged Rider. The deck's pretty well set up to abuse that at this point. And if blue is so overdrafted, then these 3 cards are going to be gone, and I'm not going to get anything on the wheel, so that's a bummer. Maybe the Scholar of Athreos, but still. Winged Rider is good. Wavecrash Train is also very good, and I'm very stoked to have it for the deck. Could take the Temple of Silence, but I don't have any black cards to splash, so I don't really care. Green is just going to laugh in all of our faces at this table as it gets passed and passed and passed. And now I need to consider what I'm looking for to round this deck out. Having 2 Wings Rise of Flanks Leader makes me pretty hopeful now. We're at least a requisite number of creatures at 14, a number of tricks and targeting spells, and a lot of them are fairly powerful. Hello, Ashen Rider. Happy to grab the Voyage's End. Wouldn't mind a Chosen by Heliod to keep the heroic train going, but there's no way I'm passing Voyage's End, that's for sure. I would even play a Crackling Triton right now and try to get rid of like the Setessan Griffin or the Silent Artisan. What's a good 5-drop? Yeah, there's got to be a Prussian Chimera or something that eventually comes in to trade out the 5-drop slot. Also, wouldn't mind like Traveling Philosophers instead of Cavalry Pegasus. I mean, I doubt I'm going to get Battle-Wise Hoplites. Those are, I mean, too good. And someone else has got to be in my colors the way this draft's been going. Ooh, Vaporkin's nice. Battle-Wise Valor's fine. I am pretty much on the aggressive beatdown, so I think I want the Vaporkin to go fast. I don't have like any favorite hoplites or deals to make it super nutty, but I do like 2-drops. And I would rather have that than like a bunch of Cavalry Pegasus. Again, still wouldn't mind some more heroic triggers. I don't have that many. 5 was last I counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we might call it 6 if you want to count the Alciad and the Emissary as like kind of 1. But since they're so late, I don't really count as those reliable. But definitely Vaporkin over Laguna Band Elder. And yeah, I don't think the Battle-Wise Valor is exactly what this deck's looking for right now. Ooh, Ordeal is definitely something I want, which makes me way more happy to have the Vaporkin. Here's another sweet heroic trigger, and having another strong 2-drop to put it on is insane. And then probably wouldn't mind actually a Sealock monster over these guys. I definitely wouldn't mind a Lanian and Sneercaster to come back for the aggression. Huh. I think Omen Speaker's fine, in case, especially if we do play one of these Cavalry Pegasi. It is a 2-drop. Not insane. I'm kind of weirded out by having the Vortex Elemental and an Omen Speaker in what's supposed to be a fairly aggressive build. But even an Omen Speaker and having a Phalanx Leader and Wingsteed Riders means we have either ground defense or the Phalanx Leader starts making it a sizable threat, and the Big Butt is good. I'm not looking to like cut anything else. Ooh, and Trying Tactics is awesome for the deck. Much better than Battle-Wise Valor, of course. Well, maybe not, of course. I think with my deck having 4 really strong heroic guys, being the Phalanx Leader, 2 Wings Riser, and a Wavecrash Triton means I definitely want Trying Tactics. So that's really nice. And that allows us to not play one of our dork cards. I really don't want another Cavalry Pegasus. I have 2, and I don't even have that many humans. 1, 2. These guys are humans. They don't count. Oh, all right. I guess I am playing the Cavalry Pegasus. I wasn't really paying attention to the Airy Worshippers as being humans. So, yeah. I think we will play both of these. I don't want a third one, though. That's for sure. And nothing else. No, I guess we'll get rid of... Burnish Chart, I think, matters more to someone who's, needing to splash things. As predicted, the Scholar came back, but I don't think we're playing it. It is white, so I could grab it, and it is human. But it's more like, what am I cutting from the deck? I really wanted some sort of, like, dorky, fatty finisher, which I do not have. So I'm cutting one of these 5-drops, probably the Setessan Griffin? Maybe not? I'm not too sure. I'm going to cut the Disciple of Phoenix because I don't want that Scholar. I just know I'm not going to run it. I have better 3-drops. We'll take a Null for the sideboard. I don't want a Yoke Dogs by any means. Volpine Goliath kind of gets us, but a Null will be nice to bring in if we need it. Ooh, Crackling Triton. I do just want a 2-3 for 3 there. I'm actually fine with that. Still would prefer like a Prussian Chimera or like a Horizon Scholar or something, but I do want a 2-3 for 3 over the random 2-1. Lost in the Labyrinth. I'd rather get rid of Viper's Kiss, because it can kill a number of my guys, and Lost I'm never playing. So I don't need someone getting that for their sideboard at all. Well, the third pack did help round out quite a bit of what we had. A little worried about not having a top end, because we're not super aggressive to where I necessarily want my curve to stop at 4, but having 2 Area Worshippers to sink mana into, an Emissary and Alciad Nymph to bestow, does mean I have a couple of things with the mana later on in the game. I'll just have to see how aggressive a build I get to. Okay, so here's the base deck with just all the good cards being played in it right now. And you notice I put my bestow guys here because I'm kind of treating them like later drops, which is fine. Weakest cards, I guess, would be some of the dorky 2 drops, Lean and Snarecaster, Omen Speaker, but they're actually pretty decent in this deck. Same with Cavalry Pegasus, once I realized that they work really well with Area Worshippers, and then Crackling Trident. But even then, they're all very good, solid creatures to round out a deck. I'm at 22 playables right now. Despite being a fairly aggressive deck, I don't think I'm so aggressive with a low cost to where I want to be playing 16 lands. That would be like the major 1-drop creature slot. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to play 17 lands, which means I just need 1 more card to fill out the deck. Null's the only real sideboard card we have. Time to Defeat and Burnished Heart could make it if I'm desperate, but that seems like a horrible plan that I'll probably never actually do, despite talking about it. And I really don't want to play counters, and even if it is 1, I think instead of putting in a stupid 5 that isn't very impactful, I'm going to play the Vortex Elemental not so much as my 15th creature, but as like a spell here, as a late game removal spell, so that if I don't get too far ahead, or if I'm having troubles of punching through, or my opponent, is able to Voltron together a sizable threat, this is like my Sip of Hemlock in my blue deck, basically. So it's more like this late game removal spell I'm treating it as. And it might get a little bit of value should Phalanx Leader come down and start getting to do some nutty things. Or if, like, for example, I gum up the ground with it and able to get in with my Worshippers and Flyers and stuff. But really like the curve. Really love the quality of my actual spells. Mortal's Ardor being pretty weak, but still going to be very good with our 4 awesome heroic guys. And then everything else being really strong, so I'm stoked about all of that. Yeah, I like it. So we'll just add our lands. A 9-8 split seems accurate intuitively. Let me double check that that's right. Yep, 9-8's good. I want a little bit more white because the leader and the Wingsteed Riders, but I don't want to go like a 10-7 split. Just because I have so much blue here that I do want to be able to cast all of these tricks on time. Yeah, 9-8's great. Well, I'm looking forward to playing the deck. I'm very curious to see how I do. This is not the kind of deck that I win drafts in. It's really anti my style. I've been really learning how much I don't play aggro decks that awesomely. And I really tend to focus on more control decks in the Theros block draft. But I feel pretty good about the deck and about how it's built. Let's see if my play won't embarrass me.